What's going on YouTube? Lone Piece of Gamer here. It's been quite a bit since I've uploaded a video. I plan on getting back into the YouTube thing a little bit more, but today, the main reason why I'm recording a video for you guys is I'm going to be doing a couple little guides as far as Diablo 3 goes. I'm going to be doing the Barbarian right now, and the next video that I put up is probably going to be a Firebird's Wizard build, but this is going to be the IK/Earthquake Barbarian build. I'm going for fire rather than physical. A lot of people tend to run physical as well as fire. Physical does do quite a bit of damage, but fire for me is just what the gear has been dropping, so that's what I've been using. So let's go ahead and take a look here. First, what we're going to do is take a look at some of the items that I'm wearing. Some of these items are obviously going to be replaced in the future. My jewelry for one, and perhaps a weapon when I do get another furnace. I have a furnace and it's on my wizard right now. But right now we're going to be looking at sheet damage, which is only 786. Sheet toughness is 10.8. You buff that stuff out with your shouts and whatever. You got 941 and 14. We're stacking fire. Right now I have 1.2 mil fire damage. Whirlwind is just, I guess, a bonus. I do use it, but that's just kind of there. Earthquake damage right now is 26%. I would like that to be higher. Crit chance, crit damage. You want to be 45 plus in crit chance, and you want crit damage to be a 1 to 10 ratio to your crit chance, so you want that to be about 460. I'm not quite there yet. You want to stack as much cooldown as you possibly can, without suffering too much of a DPS loss. I'm sitting at about 31.88%, and that's okay. It's not bad for what I'm doing. I find that to be relatively decent. Right now I have 0% bonus damage to elites. Now obviously when you get your furnace, that's going to be a plus, and I'm still looking for a decent SOJ, so that's going to be contributing to that as well. My toughness, or my resistances rather, are slightly low. Would like that to be a bit higher. Life per hit is only 8k. It's strictly from Paragon points. And I would like to find a furnace with a decent amount of life per hit. 20k plus would be ideal. As far as the gear goes, Earthquake/IK. So Earthquake, the pieces that you want that I recommend you getting are the helm, the shoulders, and the pants. Obviously with the Ring of Royal Grandeur, you only need 3 to complete the 4-piece set. The helm I have here is missing vitality. I could go for that, but I chose to go for the crit chance instead, and I have a cooldown reduction, a diamond in that thing, so that gives me 12.5% cooldown right there. That's not too terrible. Well, it is kind of bad. It's missing vid. If I had a vid, it'd be GG, but this is kind of mediocre. My chest right now is the Immortal Kings. Now for the Immortal Kings, that is also a 4-piece set, and I do recommend you getting the belt, the gloves, and the chest. Chest is okay. It has 15% earthquake damage, which is really good. Vit and strength, 3 sockets, pretty much straightforward there. The belt, we got the Immortal Kings tribal binding, strength, vit, resol, and percent life. Percent life is definitely recommended over armor because it does give you more of a toughness. We got the weight of the earth pants to go along with our helm that I've showed you so far. Strength, vit, armor, 2 socket with strength. Our boots are let socks, and these are legendary. This is almost a must-have for the earthquake build. Leap. It says leap can be cast again within 2 seconds before your cooldown begins. So that's essentially, depending on what your attack speed is, 3 leaps, and then if you want to add a 4th quake, you just go ahead and hit your earthquake down here. So it gives you 3 earthquakes from the leap, essentially. I haven't seen anybody do 4, but I won't say that's out of the question. But those are some decent boots. I got whirlwind damage on there, which is whatever. It could be something else. It could be percent life if I wanted it to be, but I already rolled for vit, so maybe a better pair of boots will come in the future. But let's go ahead and look at our shoulders here. We got strength, fit, resol, earthquake damage by 11. I'd like that earthquake damage to be 15%, but I'll take the 11 right now. This is also part of the earth set. These are the IK gloves. Strength, fit, crit chance, cooldown reduction. Now the cooldown reduction I could reroll for crit damage if I wanted to. Obviously, crit chance, crit damage, and cooldown. Maybe, but you lose out on the vit. I don't know. I tend to like this. I didn't roll them at all. I like the cooldown reduction on them, but you could definitely go for crit hit damage instead of cooldown reduction if you wanted to. or you can go for trifecta if you're picking a vid elsewhere. My jewelry is crap. I got the Ring of Royal Grandeur, attacks 3% life cooldowns. It's pretty bad, but it's necessary for me to run these sets. I got to find a better one in the future. Just keep that in mind. Same with this ring and the Ami. This ring here, strength fit, crit damage, crit chance. Crit damage is very low on this. I don't even want to show you the amulet. It has int on it. I made this character a week ago. This is all the gear I found in a week, and I just haven't found a better Ami yet with a main stat of strength on it for me that would be viable, let alone have sockets in it like I'd like all my pieces to. But so ignore the amulet. That's just noob shit right there. You don't even want to look at that. For the weapon, I'm using, well, I switch back and forth. I'm using the Maximus right now, giving me 17% fire skills damage, which is good. 9% damage. Been trying to roll that for 10, but it's in the millions as far as rolling goes. Strength, and we have 130% critical hit damage from our emerald in there. So that's good there. The other weapon that I will show you, that's all the gear, right? Yeah, the other weapon that I've been using, if I can find it real quick, is the Grandfather, which is 3976 white damage, which is pretty good with the socket, 10% damage, strength fit, attack speed. You can see there just from the sheet, it gives me 27% extra toughness. And sheet, it'll actually give me more damage as well. But the demonic slave that the Maximus summons is really cool. Plus, I get that bonus to fire damage. So my fire elemental DPS doesn't change a whole lot, maybe a few thousand actually between the Grandfather and this. So the demonic slaves tend to help out when I got big mobs that I'm leaping into and stuff. So it kind of works. So that's my gear. Kind of showed you my stats here, which is really no big deal. You want cooldown reduction. You want to have decent amount of toughness. If you're going fire, go for fire. If you're going physical, stack your physical. I did not show you the bracers. The bracers I'm wearing are Reaper wraps. I crafted these. These are pretty decent. Fire skills 20, strength fit, and crit chance. Damn near perfect. So those are good. Let's take a look at our Paragon points when I'm running. Now this is going to vary between build to build, items that you're wearing, things like that. But you want to have 25% movement speed in your main stats in your inventory there. So I didn't have any on any of my gear, so I put 25% there to max that out, and the rest goes into strength. Offense, like I said, you want a 1 to 10 ratio, 45% crit chance and above, 450% crit damage if at all possible. I'm lacking in crit hit damage, so I put everything into that. Cooldown reduction, because we rely on cooldowns from our leap to do the majority of our damage, and plus the Call of the Ancients skill. I'm going to be showing all these skills in a second, but the Call of the Ancients in particular has a 2-minute cooldown, so that's important. Defense, I got percent life is the last thing I put stuff into. I maxed out armor and Rezol just for toughness, percent life, because what happens is, as far as damage mitigation goes, it'll go off your armor, then your resist all, then your life. So if these are good, life is a little less important, but it's all on preference. And then utility, I max out life on hit. Resource cost reduction, which probably you don't need to do. Area damage probably would be better. So why don't we go ahead and do that? So when we go life on hit, we'll go area damage and then resource cost reduction. That's probably what that should be. As far as our set bonuses go, if you look at the IK there, the very last line says, call the ancients last until they die. That's very important. And then our Earth set, obviously if you're doing a quake build, causes an earthquake every time you land using leap, which effectively gives you this animation. And then you can throw down a fourth one with this skill like I was talking about earlier. And then the IK, the call the ancients last till they die, are these guys here, these other barbarians that'll fight for you. Typically they will go away. But with that set, that 4-piece set, they'll stay out and they'll fight with you. They'll do all sorts of barb skills and damage. And if you use the pet gem, they'll actually gain from benefits from that as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at our skills that we're using. Whirlwind I have for my left click, which is kind of odd for me to be doing. Not odd in a sense that I'm using it, but odd in a sense that it's on my left click. So typically when I'm like, I'll go in and I'll leap, right? I'll leap into a mob of packs, and then I'll hit shift real quick and click, so I just start the animation, and I'll whirlwind around. That's typically what I do. It helps to get out of situations as well where you're kind of stuck in a mob and you can't move. You just whirlwind and it'll like put you through it. with the exception of wallers and jailers and things like that. So that's what I use here. I use Blood Funnel on this because critical hits caused by Whirlwind restore life, 1% of your maximum life, and I'm lacking a little bit in toughness and life per hit, so I find that useful. While I'm waiting for my leap to come back off cooldown. Call of the Ancients, obviously, for our IK set. Like I said before, I'm stacking fire, so I went ahead and chose the fire rune, which does 540% weapon damage to fire with each attack. Each attack they do, there's 3 of them, so you can add that up. The more you stack fire damage, the more you stack your pet damage as far as gem goes, the better it'll be. For my one hotkey here, I use Warcry with Impunity. Warcry, unleash a rallying cry to increase your armor to you and all allies within 100 yards by 20% for a minute. So you'll be casting these all the time. You'd probably be casting them more frequently than a minute because you don't want these to run out. But as far as the rune goes, I put a physical rune on here called Impunity, and this increases resistance to all elements by 20% because my resistances are low, so that helps me out there, so that's why I use that. My hotkey number 2 is Battle Rage, Marauders, Rage. And Battle Rage says, enter a rage, increase your damage by 10% and critical hit chance by 3% in the last 2 minutes. Now the Marauders Rage says that your damage bonus is increased by 15%. So that's GG there. For my hotkey number 3, I use Leap with Call of Ariat. The Call of Ariat pulls things into me, or pulls enemies to me that are within 16 yards, causing them to be pulled in and then obviously hit by the earthquake that is summoned from my earth set. So that's why I use that. And then obviously, I didn't know this till recently, but if you have earthquake, like when you leap around with this set, earthquake will be spawned. But if you have earthquake on your hotbar with that rune in it, the earthquake that you get from leap will actually have this rune. And the rune that I chose is Molten Fury, which increases earthquake's damage to 100% weapon damage as fire. Now it's very important. So your leap quake will gain this rune as well. Not to mention you get an extra quake from casting this into a mob on top of this, so 4 quakes. For my passive, now these are totally up to you. A lot of it depends on your toughness, your damage, and things like that. I tend to be kind of squishy, so I go for more of the toughness. Earth and Might, it's not, I shouldn't say it's necessary, but it gives you a great amount of fury when you activate Earthquake. So when you leap and you land, your fury meter goes up, and you leap 3 times, and that's great too, 4 times. So you'll have fury all the damn time with this build, especially if you use this passive. So that's why I use that. My second passive here is Relentless. Now I'm squishy, keep in mind. So when I fall below 35% life, all skills cost 75% less fury, which isn't why I use this. Not that first part, but the second part. All damage taken is reduced by 50%. So imagine you're running a Greater Rift and you have double Unity, which is in a follower with a token, making him so he can't die. 50% damage reduction there on top of this 50% damage reduction right there will be about 75% damage reduction if you fall below 35% life, which is really good. My third passive here is Nerves of Steel. Again, a defensive. Increase your armor by 50% of your vitality. So the more vitality you have, the more effective this passive will be. And my fourth is Boon of Blakathos. It reduces the cooldown of Earthquake, Call of the Ancients, and Wrath of Berserker. So Call of the Ancients and Earthquake is what I'm using. And so that's very important. Like I said, the Call of the Ancients is a minute and 120 second cooldown. So this reduces it by 30, giving it a minute and a half. And then your cooldown reduction obviously kicks in and it'll be a little less. So those are the skills. That is the gear. You saw my stats. And that is about it for the Barbarian Earthquake Immortal Kings build. Now what I'm going to do, this is T6. So just actually got to T6 with this guy. So we'll see how we do. We're just going to run around Weeping Hollow and so I can kind of showcase this off. So we're going to cast both of our shouts here. Already have Call of the Ancients activated, so I don't need to do that. But you just leap in 3 times, cast your Earthquake, and then whirlwind around. Your crits will actually heal you. And your dots from your Earthquake will just tick the enemies away. Let's run around here a little more and get some... Here's an elite pack. We'll see if we actually die. I hope not. And if you start to take a little bit of damage, keep in mind you do have your Call of the Ancients, so you do have those other guys out there tanking as well. GG Healing Well, let's get that. So they're up there fighting right now. And we have the Maximus going as well. So we get the benefit from that. Oh man, we might actually die here. Like I said, all my gear needs to be upgraded, obviously. I'm a little squishy, as you can tell. But I just completed this in a week, and I wanted to show it off to you guys. And we can do T6, not effectively yet. I'll have to do an updated video when we can. But we can't kill shit, we can't kill elite packs. I like to get bonus damage to elites, obviously. Something that I need, for sure. But yeah, guys, so that's my IK Earthquake Barbarian build. Fire damage. It's going to be better. It's going to be better. I need better jewelry. That's my main thing right now. But if you enjoyed the video, if this helped you out at all, please hit the like button below. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.